friends, welcome to the Leaf Brief. We're going to be taking care of some plant chores today. I am studying for finals that start next week, and I graduate in May, so my weeks are quite busy, but these are the things I'm using today. I have a regular spray bottle. Okay, this has my nutrient solution, and when I say nutrient solution, know that it means it is water plus nutrients. So you can also refer to nutrients as fertilizer, but I use a liquid fertilizer or a liquid nutrient, and you follow the instructions on that, and you put a certain amount in water, and then you have your nutrient solution, and that is what I use to fertilize my plants every week, and it provides them all the nutrients they need, and we'll go into that more in depth in another video about nutrient solution and whatnot. But I do use nutrient solution to water my moss poles, because for like my monsteras and those plants that are used to climbing trees in their natural habitat, I really want them to root into the moss pole and not root down into the leca as much. I want them to climb, and as they root into the moss pole, the root system will grow robust and you'll get some nice large leaves. Okay, so number one, I've got my nutrient solution here, and I've got my nutrient solution in this bottle, and this is how I water my moss poles. This is an empty Fuji bottle. I like the shape of these because they sit in my moss poles well. Oops. Okay, so this is the 1 liter, and I actually only use about half of this in my smaller moss poles, but we'll be using half of it today in the larger one as well, because it doesn't need, it's not as dry. But this is what I use. I have a soldering iron that I got from Amazon, and I just make 2 holes in the top there, and that is how I'm able to set it on top of my moss pole and let it water the moss pole slowly, instead of one big hole where it just falls right through. So here's what we're gonna do. And we are looking now at our monstera. So this is our moss pole. This is the leca that I was talking about. And there's the reservoir down there, okay? So I'm going to take my sprayer, and I'm just going to moisten this outer layer of the moss pole. And what this will do is, when you water it from the top, the water is not just going to run right through and out these little holes here, which usually happens when moss is very dry. The water will just run right off of it. It takes some time to absorb. And before I spray the top, I want you to hear the difference. So I'm going to give this a squeeze. Hear that? So you know that it's dry. And that's what we'll be watering it from the top there. But you know it's dry. You hear the crunch. And now we're going to take our nutrient solution. This is not paid for by Fiji. And I'm going to pop it in the top like that. Okay? And we're going to leave it. And you can see, if you look up close there, how it's starting to soak down. So we want it to be able to saturate very slowly, so it's slowly making its way down into our moss pole. As it fills up the moss pole, it's going to saturate some of the leca and it will run right down and into the bottom of here. And I like to leave it in there because what I'm using is called a submerged setup. So this pot that I've made holes in, that will be another video, sits in nutrient solution, which uses capillary action to keep this leca moist. Okay, the water will flow up and into all of these little nooks and crannies of the leca. Okay, and that's how it's gonna grow. So there we go. We have just finished watering, and there we go. We are done with our plant care for our monstera.